And welcome back to another UNC Tar Heels football recruiting podcast right here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, that is called Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of football recruiting, Miss Deana King. And Deana and I, along with four other staffers, well, three other staffers, and Adam Freeman, national analyst from Rivals in our network. We were at Mack Brown's Showtime camp Saturday night at the Coleman practice complex at UNC. About 70 plus prospects were there. Most are class of 2023 kids. We kind of been letting you guys know for a while now that at some point this summer, we're really going to steer the nose hard toward the class of 23 because there are not a lot of spots to fill in 22. And it's probably going to be a full or very close to full class in 23. So the staff's going real hard. Plus, they hadn't seen these kids in person before, really, until this month when the dead period finally ended. So this camp was filled with 23s, some very impressive ones. We're breaking down the 23 podcast into two. We're going to focus on defense in this one, and we're going to focus on offense in the next one. And there were probably twice as many offensive kids wearing light blue, than there were defensive kids. They were wearing black or navy blue. They're all sweating, so it kind of looked like it was navy blue looks black, I guess, when you sweat. So, but there were four that we're going to focus on here from the defensive side of the ball. Really, really impressive kids. We're going to start out with Alex Sonny Styles, a 4-star, nearing 5-star DB athlete from Pickerington, Ohio. Very quickly, the bloodlines. His dad's Lorenzo Styles. Many of you probably remember him. Star at Ohio State, played for a while in the NFL. And he's got a brother, I believe, is a freshman at Notre Dame right now. And in fact, Ohio State, Notre Dame, maybe Carolina, joining that mix as well for Sonny Styles, Deana.
Well, one thing when I saw Sonny Styles, you can just tell that he's got it. You know, he walks, the way he presents himself. You know, he's been around football all of his life, and having a dad that's went the same route, being a good college football player and pro player. So he's got it in his genes. He knows what it takes to get at the next level. You know, you guys talked about how Tony Grimes acted when you guys first saw him. I saw him he just acted like different, maybe, knew his stretching routines, and his dad accompanying him down to Chapel Hill. I know there's a really good bond between Dre Bly and the Styles family. I believe Dre was a teammate of Mr. Styles in the NFL. So Dre's making his name. He's putting a bullseye on himself to other college programs because he's becoming the Mr. DB coach.
He's got his fingerprints all over the place, Deana.
Yeah, he's got so many connections. He's played, a couple of teams, the Lions, the Rams, and stuff. So he's played with a lot of guys whose sons are of college age. So, he knows how to. Dre is very good personality, and he's working it.
Well, and he was working it with Sonny Styles and some of the other kids that were there. As I've said in our video that we did right after the camp, I love watching him coach because he gets so much passion. He's got passion about life. Yeah, everything he does with zeal, man. He's just got so much going on. And that's why a guy like Sonny Styles, who may not have paid Carolina much attention 5 years ago, he is now. And it's not just Dre. It's the program. It's everything that we saw the other night. Everything in this program is moving in a different direction. And when you're in the conversation with a Sonny Styles, and when you're in the conversation with a Braylon Johnson and guys like that, it's because of the program as a whole. Dre has a huge part to do with that, but there's more to it. And a guy like Sonny Styles, he's got Ohio State in his backyard. Ohio State would love to have him. He's got the lineage there, but he's looking at other places. And our understanding is that there's serious consideration being given to learning as much as they possibly can about what the experience might be like playing at North Carolina.
Kid like that, comes down, probably has never been at, hears about UNC, but came down on his own dime and, uh, checked out, an unofficial, got to tour the Keenan Football Center, got to meet the coaches. It's just Chapel Hill's a really nice place to be during the spring and the summer. I mean, a lot going on, and I believe the Styles really enjoyed himself. I watched the dad, and he was not a lot like other dads that were like right there on the field, watching their son every move. He was letting Sonny, he stayed away and
Some
let
leash there.
Sonny do his own thing.
Yeah, he lets him do his thing. I like watching the pro dads do that with their kids because I think it's really healthy for the kids to experience as much teaching and tutelage from others as they possibly can. Rico Walker is someone that you're very, very familiar with. And, thank goodness that you and VTO and you guys were able to hold those camps last year and give kids like Rico Walker an opportunity to get out there and play and compete and generate a name. And yet when we talk about kids that look the part, and Sonny Styles totally looks the part, just standing there drinking Gatorade, he looks the part. Rico Walker did a year ago. And here we are 12 months later, Deana. Wow. I mean, there's a trajectory to the way he's taking form as an athlete as he grows and matures. And, he's a 4-star kid, but if you squint your eyes, you see 5-star type potential. He is a big time player.
I saw Rico last fall when we had our BTO Sports Regional Football Combine, and he came to the one down at Matthews, and kind of unheard of. I mean, he had a couple offers, and then I think they were out of state offers. I believe it might have been South Carolina and Mississippi State or something, teams out of the SEC. But then he came there. He really he came to play wide receiver because he just didn't have a definite position, and he played wide receiver. So I know he had athletic ability, and he got a few more offers. The in-state schools, UNC offered state, and here they started just avalanche. Everybody in the whole area and who's who of college football started noticing him. He's from Hickory, up in the foothills of Western North Carolina, and he's a kid that Mack certainly would love to land because of where it's at, because that part of the state has kind of not had a lot of Tar Heels in the last 5 to 10 years, which there's a lot of great football players in that area. I mean, I'll bring one to mind, Leon Johnson from up there in Morgan and at Freedom. So, and you look at the Hickory area in this past draft, uh, Landon Dickinson is from up there. Man, I can't think of his name, from Virginia Tech. Um, the DB from Caleb Farley from Maiden, up in that area. The Srats in the Lincoln County area. So there's a lot of talent in that area. And Mack, I believe Mack is going to make Rico a priority because he is just a kid that I mean, to be honest, I mean, he really don't know where he can play. I mean, he can play anywhere. I mean, in the camp, if I was going to say a most impressive camper, it would be Rico, because he played defensive end, played some linebacker, he played some tight end, he even went out of wide receiver. He got an interception as a linebacker. So he's got so unlimited skills, and like I said in the video after the game, after the camp, he's 6'4", he's chiseled, his Twitter name is 6'4" specimen, it's no lie. The kid is a legit 4-star kid that
There needs
everybody's going to want.
there needs to be a new position. DB defensive back, WR wide receiver, RB running back, FBP. It should be next to Rico Walker, football player. He's just a football player. He's the kind of guy that you see him play on the defensive side of the ball because you could do so much with him. But like you said, there's no way to really project exactly where he's going to be, what he's going to be playing in 3 or 4 years from now. And that's why so many coaches want a guy like this, because you bring him in, you move him around, you see how he fits in. This staff is not afraid at all to move guys around and give them a chance to. They do a lot of cross training. They want to see what guys can handle, not just to build depth, but they just want to see, hey, maybe this guy's better in this spot. You've been maybe playing one position your whole life in high school because that's where that coach had you. Maybe in college you're better suited somewhere else. Coaches are going to figure out where Rico Walker is best suited, and he's going to be a really good player when he gets into college. Braylon Johnson's father is the head coach at Highland Springs in the Tidewater area, one of the better programs in that area. And I read an article Saturday night when I was doing a write-up about the camp and stuff, and I was looking at some of the kids, and he caught our eye. He was wearing the long white tights or whatever, the athletic spandex pants underneath his stuff there, and he kind of caught our eye because of that. But he's really young looking, but he was making plays. And there were a couple of times in which Trey Morrison, Tony Grimes, and Gio Biggers were just barking big time at him, not in a bad way, but like, damn, dude, you were making some plays out there. So I was doing some stuff, doing some research on him, Googling him and trying to find out a little bit more about him Saturday night. And I came across an article where it said in a 28-hour span back in mid-January, he got 11 offers. And, at his age, they were calling the coach. They would communicate the offers to the coach. So apparently he was like in a science lab. And he got his first offer from Maryland or something like that. And over the ensuing 28 hours, this kid got 11 offers. So watching him Saturday night, no surprise. 11 offers, why not 50? I mean, this kid, and he's young and he's growing and he's very springy and long and he's very athletic and bouncy. And I totally understand why so many schools would like to get Braylon Johnson unrated right now. And keep in mind that a lot of the 23s have not been fully evaluated, but I know that at least somebody from Rivals is pretty impressed with this kid.
Yeah, with Adam being at this camp gives them a chance to evaluate these kids and give them, some star rankings and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with Braylon. He, of course, you couldn't miss him with those white pants on. But
he was making plays.
Yeah, he's a Virginia kid, and we keep harping on this like a broken record that North Carolina is going to mine Virginia every year because they produce great talent, and Mack wants to keep dominating basically in the Virginia, because they're already started a great start in 2022, and why not 2023?
Yeah, well, he's in that Tidewater area. That's Dre Bly territory. That's been North Carolina territory historically for a long time. In the 70s, 80s, early 90s, a lot of really good Carolina players came from that area, and this kid's another one. And he's also got, again, he's being coached by a dad who totally understands this stuff. He's one of the most respected coaches in the Commonwealth. The next young man is somebody you know very well. In fact, when I first saw him Saturday night, I saw him with you, and he went to you, and he was laughing it up, and almost like you're how not his mother, but like a friend's mom. Yeah, a lot of kids are with friends' moms, and they arm around you and they kind of josh a little bit. That's what it looked like to me with Jamal Jarrett, who was a teammate of Travis Shaw's at Grimsley High School in Greensboro.
Well, a lot of these kids, I build relationships. Some of these kids, when they're first starting this recruiting process, they'll contact me and they'll say, Miss King, can you make me a profile? And I mean, if you want to believe this, Peyton Page was one of them 4 years ago. Michael Wyman 4 or 5 years ago. A lot of these kids they're unknown as freshmen, and I start building relationships with these kids when they're freshmen and stuff. But Jamal reached out to me a few months ago and wanted me to make him a profile, so I did, and that's how I build trust with them. And like you said, he saw me, and he's been to one of my VTO camps, and he saw me and he wanted to come by and say hey. And he's been really good. He's a really good kid. Just every time I spoken to him, he has just nothing but high praise for UNC. I believe that this kid is he's the type of kid that Coach Brown would love to have, and he just keeps speaking highly of Coach Brown, Coach Galloway. And you mentioned he was at Ben Smith last year, and the reason he came to talk to me, he was like, Miss King, I finally made my first official workout at Grimsley. So he's transferred to Grimsley. Oh yes, North Carolina 4A. You get to deal with Jamal Jarrett and Travis Shaw on defensive line. So all
Good
you
luck.
offensive coordinators from the 4A schools, you get to get that double dose along with the other guys that Grimsley has coming back for the repeat in a 4A championship.
We had a huge contingent of THI staffers at the Showtime camp, two of whom, Jacob Turner and Kevin Roy, their sole job was to shoot video. And we got a lot of ISO videos of some of these kids that were rolling out. 3 of the 4 that we talked about here in this podcast, we've already run the Sunny Styles ISO. So you can, if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and see it. If you go over to our channel, or our site rather, TarHillIllustrated.com, you can see it there. We've got a Rico Walker one and Jamal Jarrett. They're still picking through some videos, see if they can maybe come up with a Braylon Johnson video as well. And we're going to be in touch with these kids. We talked a lot of the 22s that we had in the video that we ran on Monday. These 4 kids, we're talking to them. Deana talks to Jamal Jarrett a lot. And the kids in the next video, we're going to talk to a lot of them, get their thoughts on being at the camp and all that kind of stuff. You can only access that if you're a premium subscriber to TarHillIllustrated.com, and it's free right now. So why not do it? Recruiting is still on fire. There's probably going to be some commits here in the next few weeks at North Carolina. There's a lot of movement happening. The class of 23 is really starting to generate a lot of heat. Stuff is happening. The only way you're going to know what these kids have to say is if you are a premium subscriber on our site, and it's free right now until August 10th. And then when it picks up, when you got to pay, it's just $8.33 a month, which is the same price it's been ever since I took this job 7 years ago, which is unreal. Inflation's going like crazy everywhere. THI, we're still $8.33 a month, and that's without the free promos. So you get it for free for the next month and a half. Take advantage of it and find out what Sonny Styles or Rico Walker and those kids had to say to all these other kids in recruiting, plus everything else that we do that is premium content. The next video is going to be about the offensive kids that we picked out from the class of 2023 at the Showtime camp. Just 4 on defense, but I think there's about 7 or 8 we're going to talk about on the offensive side. So make sure you come back to THI for that video. She's Deana. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.